HOA sent cops after my teenage son. Didn't know Navy SEALs were visiting him. The knock at my door that morning wasn't a friendly neighbor asking for sugar. It was heavy, sharp, and demanding, the kind of knock that makes your gut tighten. When I opened it, 2 uniformed officers stood there with stern faces. "Sir, we've received multiple complaints from the HOA about disturbances at your home. They say your teenage son is involved," one officer announced. My chest burned. My son, Jason, was 17, quiet, respectful, and still trying to find his footing after his mom's passing 2 years ago. He wasn't the type to stir up trouble. But when you live in an HOA-run neighborhood, truth doesn't matter. All it takes is one power-hungry Karen making a phone call, and suddenly you're public enemy number 1. "Where is he?" the second officer asked. "In the back," I said, steadying my voice. "With his friends." What they didn't know was that Jason wasn't hanging out with just any friends. He was spending the weekend with 3 men who had once served alongside his late uncle, men who had shaped his idea of honor, discipline, and courage. Navy SEALs. The setup. It started the week before when Karen, the self-appointed queen of our HOA, caught sight of Jason in the driveway with one of the SEALs. They were unloading camping gear from the truck, laughing, and tossing a football. Karen stormed across the street, hands on her hips. "Is this some kind of gang meeting?" she barked. Jason's friend, Marcus, broad-shouldered, quiet-eyed, and carrying himself with that unmistakable military discipline, just shook his head and said, "Ma'am, just visiting family." But Karen wasn't satisfied. She took pictures, scribbled notes, and whispered to other neighbors like she was documenting enemy activity. By the end of the week, the HOA board claimed Jason was hosting dangerous men, disturbing the peace, and violating community guidelines. The police visit. So now, here they were, the police, summoned like attack dogs. The officers stepped into the yard. "We need to see the boy." I walked them around the back, my heart pounding. What they saw froze them in their tracks. Jason was out on the grass, drenched in sweat, pushing himself through a set of grueling drills. His face was red, but his eyes burned with determination. Around him stood Marcus, Ty, and Eli, 3 Navy SEALs who had seen the darkest corners of the world, yet were here teaching my son discipline, resilience, and respect. "Faster, Jason," Marcus barked. "Your mind gives up before your body does. Don't quit." Jason collapsed, then pulled himself back up, gritting his teeth. The officers looked at each other. "These are the dangerous men," one whispered. That's when Karen appeared, storming onto the lawn without permission. "I told you," she shrieked. "Look at this. Training a child for violence. They're turning him into a criminal. Arrest them. All of them." The SEALs didn't flinch. Ty stepped forward slowly, his calm presence radiating authority. "Ma'am, we serve this country to protect freedoms like this. We're teaching him respect, not violence. You should be thanking us." But Karen wouldn't hear it. "This is my neighborhood, and my rules. Call backup if you have to." She snapped at the cops. The turning point. The senior officer cleared his throat. "Ma'am, these men are Navy SEALs. We're not here to arrest anyone. We're here because you claimed this boy was breaking laws. So far, all I see is a teenager learning discipline." Jason looked up at the officers, panting, sweat dripping down his forehead. I just want to be strong like my uncle. I don't want to disappoint him." My heart cracked open. He'd never said that out loud before. Eli crouched beside him and put a hand on his shoulder. "You're not disappointing anyone, kid. You're already doing more than most grown men ever will." The officers softened. One even smiled. But Karen, she was shaking with fury. "This is harassment," she sputtered. "I'll take this to the HOA board. I'll sue." Marcus stepped closer, lowering his voice but making sure everyone heard. "Ma'am, the last time I dealt with someone this unreasonable, it wasn't in a quiet neighborhood. And let's just say, they didn't walk away proud." Karen's face drained of color. For once, she had no comeback. The resolution. The officers left, shaking the SEALs, hands before they did. "Thank you for your service. And for mentoring this young man," one said. Karen stomped away, muttering threats under her breath. But after that day, something shifted. Neighbors who had once ignored us started waving. Some even came by to thank the SEALs for what they were doing. And Jason, He walked taller, carried himself with pride, and no longer doubted his place in the world. One evening, as the sun set over the lake behind our home, Jason sat with Marcus on the porch. "You think I could ever be like you?" Jason asked softly. Marcus smiled. "You already are. Being a SEAL isn't about the uniform. It's about heart. And you, kid, you've got it. The message. The WA wanted to break us down, to shame my son, to strip him of the very values that make this country strong. But they underestimated who was standing behind him. They underestimated his resilience, his mentors, and the power of truth." Karen stopped filing complaints after that. Maybe because she realized no board or bylaws could match the quiet strength of men who had faced down war, and a boy who was learning to carry their torch. And in the end, the greatest victory wasn't shutting down the HOA's nonsense. It was watching my son rise from self-doubt into confidence, knowing he wasn't just the boy next door. He was becoming a man worthy of the SEAL's respect.